All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use my MagnOpus trading language, which is a language that I created to help me understand how to read and trade Forex price charts. As you can see, if you don't know how to do it right now, what you're looking at looks very confusing, but it's actually not. When I was learning how to trade Forex, it was very difficult for me to be able to read charts. It was a lot of subjectivity. One person seeing something that I didn't see, and even though they taught it to me, my charts would never look like their charts. So I decided to make my own language, and I decided to base the language off of math. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, numbers are always going to be accurate. And I found that to be so. And I was able to create a language that is subjective. And I'm going to show you guys how to apply MagnOpus trading language to confusing price charts to make this random price action look a lot more uniform, look a lot more understandable. And I'm not going to give you the entire thing, but in the gist of it is going to help you understand that it is possible to read price charts. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these candles. We don't need none of this confusing stuff on our charts at all. So take it off. Let's start with a blank chart right here. The first thing that we are going to be looking at is going to be time. Time is something that cannot be created, manipulated, or destroyed. Price go up, down. Banks, institutions, personal traders, algorithms, hedge funds can manipulate price in any which way that they want to, but they cannot manipulate price. Price is the only constant in trading, and I'm going to show you why. So in Forex markets open at Sunday 5 p.m. and close at Friday 5 p.m. From Friday 5 p.m. back to the next Sunday 5 p.m. is going to be where 48 hours where markets are going to be closed. And markets are going to be open from Sunday 5 p.m. to Friday 5 p.m., which is 120 consecutive hours, 24 hours around the clock. Um, yeah. The next thing you want to know is there are 24 hours in a calendar day. If you take 120 and divide it by 24, it can be divided by 24 evenly 5 times, creating 5 trading days, each consisting of 24 hours per day. And we could further divide 24 by 2, creating two 12-hour sessions. Just like a regular day, you have the morning and then you have the nighttime. In trading, you have a session one, you have a session two. Both sessions are 12 hours. The importance of that will be revealed later on. So all you got to remember is there's a Forex market week, and each Forex market week has 5 Forex trading days, and each Forex trading day is going to have 2 sessions, session one and session two. And I'm going to show you how to reveal that in the markets using rectangles. Very simple. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our rectangle drawing tool right here. And then we're going to look at the bottom of the screen here. We're only looking at time. Time is the only constant in trading. Price can be manipulated. Time cannot. So let's look at last week, right? Last week, Friday at 5 p.m. Last week, Friday at 5 p.m. Since price expressed on charts looks continuous, it isn't, but it kind of is connected. So Friday 5 p.m. starts at 4 p.m. and it ends at 5, but it's also connected to Sunday 5 p.m. So we have to look for Sunday 5 p.m. If you want to ask questions, go ahead and ask questions about that. It sounds pretty difficult, but it's not. But it just might take me a little bit longer to explain it to you, but I don't have the time to in this video. So we got that there. And we're going to drag that all the way back to the previous Sunday, 5 p.m. There you go. So that's going to connect both Friday, 5 p.m. and Sunday, 5 p.m. of the week that just passed. We're going to open this up to create a rectangle. This is a nice rectangle. Let's put it in the middle of the screen so you can see it better. All right, let's get our rectangle here. All right, there we go. So this is going to be the start time. This is going to be the stop time. Let me go ahead and label it for you. Boom. Boom. I'll make this green. Probably look better if I made it green. All right, cool. Start, stop. Let's label this Sunday, 5 p.m. Let's move that there. Let's copy this and drag this over here, and we're gonna label this one Friday, 5 p.m. Just for measurement purposes, I'm gonna grab my date range tool, which measures the distance, which measures duration from point A to point B, from the start to stop, and it equals 120 hours. Remember, I said that Friday, the data of Friday 5 p.m. and Sunday 5 p.m. is connected because when markets stop, they stop printing candles, and when it started up where it left off. So it's basically connected on charts, but in reality, in real time, it's not connected. There's a gap of 48 hours. So don't worry about that. So all you gotta look at the bars, 120 bars. If each bar represents 1 hour, as you see up here in the top of the screen, it's gonna be 120 bars in duration. All right, we got that there. Next thing we want to do is we're going to we're going to express the days. So like I said, each day is 24 hours. So if I take my date range tool and I go from the start time, Sunday 5 p.m., and count 24 bars, which is 24 hours, right there, 24 bars, one day, I could go ahead and draw my next rectangle. This rectangle is going to represent one complete trading day. Boom. Go ahead and delete that. And now I can go ahead. I don't have to draw another box. I can just keep duplicating these over and over again since they are the same duration, 24 hours. Boom, 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 and boom. There you go. We have, and you see how it fits in perfectly. We have 5 trading days within the trading week. Just rectangles right now. What do you call this shit? What do you call that? Let's look. The left and the right side of the rectangle is going to be the start and the stop time. The top and the bottom is going to represent the highest point of information in within the box, and the bottom is going to represent the lowest point of information in the box. Same thing with these boxes. High, low, represent high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Then, if we want to go further into detail on timing, we'll draw a line from right here, and we can make this line black, actually. No, no, no. Let's make it another color. Let's make it gray. I'm here. Let's draw me a line here. Make sure it's straight. Line here. A line here. A line here. And now we go ahead and label them. Watch this. 24 hours from Sunday 5 p.m. is going to bring you to Monday at 5 p.m. This is assuming that you're on the Eastern Standard Time, UTC -4, which I like New York time. I live in Provinciales, Turks and Caicos, which is Eastern Standard Time. And then you can do this Tuesday, 5 p.m. Wednesday, 5 p.m. And Thursday, 5 p.m. All right. And if you put the cursor exactly on that line and you look at the bottom, as you can see, say Monday, July 7th, 2025, 5 p.m. Tuesday, July 8th, Wednesday, July 9th, Thursday, July 10th, so on and so forth. completely proportionate, completely lined up. All we're doing right now is lining up time, making sure that what I call this is the MagnOpus trading template. It's a template that you apply the price to chronologically group it into data sets that are separated by time. And I'm going to explain that in a little more detail later. But next, remember I said if each day has 24 hours, we can divide 24 by 2, creating 2 sessions, a morning and night, a first half and a second half, whatever you want to call it. Let's get another rectangle. That's all you need is a rectangle tool. We're not doing anything special, not gonna break anybody's brain. Um, let's get the date range tool to make sure that we're accurate on where is 12 hours or 12 bars, since each bar represents an hour. And then let's get our rectangle tool, make it a little bit bigger, and then drag it out here. Now, these half a day boxes, I want to change the color just so it is more visually appealing. I don't want to hurt your eyes or anything like that. You know, it'd be hurting my eyes sometimes. All you gotta do is draw a box. Just make the box known. You can go ahead and do that. This box right here is gonna represent the first 12 hours of each trading day, or I like to call it session one of the trading day. All right. And then you could go ahead and clone this box, but we're just going to change it a different color. The second box, boom, we're going to change the color here. You do it like this. It's going to represent session two, or the second half of the day, and or 12-hour session. And just look how it's fitting in perfectly. Everything is proportionate. Proportionality is going to be very, very, very important when it comes to trading and have making sure that your math adds up equally. Boom. So now what you're looking at, you are looking at one Forex market week. Let's call this week X. Since you have to read, you're reading charts from left to right, from past to present. This is going to be called day one, which is the first day. Call this day one. Go over here. You can technically call this day two. Go over here. We could call this, you already know what I'm going to say, day three. And go over here, and we're going to call this day four. And then we're going to go over here and call this day five. All right, 5 proportionate trading days. They're all the same size. They both have 2 sessions with them, and they're both timed properly. Now, this is the MagnOpus trading template. The MagnOpus trading template divides price proportionally so that you can compare and contrast information relative to time of where the data set is. All right. And it's going to also help in the trading process when you're doing your mathematical calculations. Now, this is the MagnOpus trading template. Now I'm going to clean it up a little bit, and I'm going to apply price. So now that you know where everything is properly, we can go ahead and take off these identifiers. So you don't need this anymore. We're going to take off the identifiers, and we're going to leave, and we're going to do this like that. All right. Once we take off these identifiers, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add price. And this is going to be the cool part. Now I'm going to put the candlesticks back, or I'm going to put the data back to the charts, make it present, right? Right. It still don't look like anything, but first we are going to fit. It's called, I say retrofit. I don't know if that's a proper word to use, but we're going to fit the high, the top of the box, the low, the bottom of the box, to its corresponding data that happened within that time. All right. So let's drag the top of the box up here to the highest point, which is going to be right over here. And then let's take the bottom of the box or rectangle to the lowest point of price action, which is going to be right here. That is going to represent the high and low of the, sorry about that. Let me fix that up again. Click outside the box. So that's going to represent the high and low of the week. Next, we are going to fit the day. There we go. Next, we're going to fit the day, the day. So let's find the high of this day. So whatever happens within that box is going to be the price action that you are going to fit it to. Nothing more, nothing less. There you go. You can go to the next day and fit it there. There you go. Let's go to the next day. Fit it there. High, low. There you go. All right. Next day. We're not doing no rocket science. We just lining up time and we're lining up price. Lining up time, lining up price. Not saying nothing special, nothing to break anybody's brain, nothing to confuse you. Just simple information. And I can move the titles the way so you can see the price action. Move the title out the way. Move the title out the way. Out of the way. All right, and then next, let's do the same thing with the sessions. Let's bring the session one box here. High to low. You could do low to high, high to low. It doesn't matter because the price is not going to change. The same thing. High to low. You know, it kind of hurts using the mouse. I don't have the most ergonomic mouse in the world. Cramps here and there. High to low. Low. Right. Low. High. Low. My bad. This is actually the high right here. No, 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 no. This is the high. I'm sure. High to low, high to low, high. I want these to line up. I don't like little OCD be killing me if I don't have them lined up properly. All right, it's sometimes off a micro pip or something like that. So don't have to be perfect. Especially now, I'm just giving you guys an example right now. High to low. High to low. Now look at that. I'm not saying that you could define right now what's happening in the markets, but just because I have the boxes, they are chronologically placed, and then they're color coded. It's gonna help you see price a little bit better, a lot more organized. And let me go ahead and name the sessions. Instead of writing out everything like the whole word session, I'm just gonna put F1 and S2. S1, S2, and we could just keep copying and pasting these around. S1, S2, That's one. That's two. I don't know why I want to say VBS one, VBS two so bad. It's two. And S2. There we go. So now we got all the information color coded chronologically in order. Now we know what information, what box represents what. So that box, the black box represents the day, the purple box represents session one, the yellow and blue box represents session two, and the data or what we call price action within it is going to be the information that happened during that time. So during day one, session one, markets did this. During day one, session two, markets did this. Altogether, markets did what happened in day one, so on and so forth with the information. And this is what is building the trading language. When you're able to compare and contrast different data sets, a rectangle is a data set. So when you're comparing and contrasting different rectangles and different data sets, now you'll be able to make the language. Like for example, if you look at day one, if this is the low of day one and this is day two, you could say day two moved lower than day one, so on and so forth. Now, without getting too deep in highs and lows and bullish and bearish and all that type of stuff, we're gonna go into the next most recognizable and understandable form of data, which is measurements. We're going to measure the data sets. We're going to measure these rectangles and boxes to figure out the range. A range is from the distance between point A to point B. Now, in Forex, we measure distance, units of measurement is pips. But for example, if you don't know what a pip is, you never heard of a pip, you could Google it first. But in this demonstration, if you don't know what a pip is, interchange that word pip with centimeter. I guess it looks like this is the distance is in centimeters. It's gonna help you understand it until you understand what pips is. So I'm gonna measure. I take my measuring tool from my toolbox, and I'm gonna measure from high to low. You can do from high to low, low to high, doesn't matter. From it's gonna be the same distance from point A to B or B to A. So I can say in this session one box, Marcus moved 66 pips, or this box is 66 centimeters long, just for example purposes, right? And then since we have like this little decimal place, we always round down because markets never give you more. They always give you less. So it's better to round down. And to be conservative than to overestimate. Then I could, and then we're gonna do that for the remainder of the information. I'm just gonna move these around here. I'm gonna measure everything. Just give me a second, all right? I'm gonna measure all of them at one time so I don't have to keep doing it one by one. So I'm gonna measure session one, session two, and then the entire day. Session one. Session two, and I'm gonna go down a little this one so the box so these blue boxes labels the amount of pips don't overlap so I can be able to read it better. Session one, session two, and then the entirety of the day. Then you can do session one, session two, the entirety of the day. Session one, session two, the entirety of the day. And then now I could go ahead and plug in the data. So 103 pips is the entirety of the day of day one. So instead of putting pip, writing out pips, I'm just gonna put P, all right? You're keeping it P. All right, session two is 59 pips. 57 pips in session one. 83 pips in session two. 83 pips in day two, my bad, bro. 59 pips in session two. 28 pips. 3 pips. 35 pips. 3 pips. 88 pips. 71 pips. So sometimes your measurement might be off 1 or 2 pips, but it doesn't really matter that much right now. You can try to get as accurate as you can, but I give it a buffer of about 3 pip range of accuracy. Um, how much pips is that? Caught at 42 pips. Two, 9 pips. 40 pips. Alrighty, guys. Now you are now seeing data, information. Now you see. Give me a second. Let me redo that. I forgot my big boy over here, man. Caught at 127 pips for the week. Okay, now we're done. All right, now guys, we have information, we have data. We have data, we have real non-subjective data. That means that everybody is going to get the same data if you chronologically put the boxes in the right place, and if you size the boxes to the highs and the lows of the price action within that data set to the right levels, you'll get pretty much the same data. Now, using this information, you can start comparing and contrasting. You can say, look, session one, 66 pips, session two, 59 pips, 57, 59, 28, 35, 30, 71, 42 to 40. Now you can see prices moving. Each session is between 20, you can say 20 to 90 pips, right? Between that range, on average, you could say around 50 pips for the most part. Majority of the days are around 40 to 50 pips, minimum 40 pips. Then you could look and be like, nah, Jack, not or people call me Jack, but you say not no, Jonathan. Right here at day three, session one is 28 pips, and session two is 35 pips, and the entire day is only 40 pips. That means day three is smaller than all the other days. Exactly. You were able to compare the information in day three to the information all the other days within the week. This is a language. Now you're speaking language, but it's factual though. It is a fact that day three moved less than the average of the other days. Keep that in mind, very important. And it also did not go lower or higher than the previous day, or and the day after it went higher than lower than itself. This is information. This is data. It's coming. It's coming to you now. You don't have to know how to trade yet, but you do have to know how to read. This is what we're doing. We're reading price action. Very important, but we're reading price action accurately. So we're gonna leave that there. We're just gonna leave the time and price, which is the only two things we're doing. We're dividing price over time, and that's what we have right here. Now, a important thing about the MagnOpus trading template that I'm really proud of, but that really showed me that this is the most accurate way of reading price action is the fact that you can project it into the future and you could back test it into the past, or you could copy it over or project it into the past. I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. Once you get your first template done, you do not have to do too much again. All you do is gonna be copy and pasting for the rest of the time. You could do this to back to the beginning of the time, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's take the week X, right? Week X, we're gonna clone it, and then we're going to connect it. Like I said, price action is expressed like it's all connected. So we're gonna go ahead and connect it, line it up to to Sunday 5 p.m. And then if you look at the start time of the box on the left-hand side, since you're going left to right, if I put the arrow there, you look at the bottom, it lands right there at Sunday 5 p.m. The week before. Perfectly. And what we do next, we're gonna size the high to the low of price. Go ahead and copy that over. I'm not time to do this real quick. Um, QRSTV W, we call this big W because W comes before X. Call this big W, and we can go ahead and size big W up 122 pips. And now you see the weeks seem to be on average. I'm not gonna say on average because you only have two examples, but so far they're over 100 pips. Right? This is good information that you need to a good thinking a good line of thinking, line of thought that you need to keep. That's gonna help us read price action, and then just do the same thing with all the information over. Just copy it over. It's all gonna line up perfectly. The only thing that's gonna change is the date. So the duration is the same. It's just the dates that's happening. Now we're in July 4th, Friday, July 4th. Ain't that a holiday? And then I don't have to go all the way over there. But I just keep copying and pasting over and over. Um, Using the same data sets, doing the same thing. The only thing that changes is price action. Time does not change. And as long as you could track time, you'll be able to understand the data because it only can do two things. Price only can move up and down. Though it may look very confusing, price only has a finite amount of moves that it can make, finite amount of trends that it could do, uh, so on and so forth. All right, I lied. I'm not going to stop saying so on and so forth. I'm going to hit you with et cetera, et cetera. All right, we got that. And then let me copy this over right here. Um, since we're starting at the end of the week, this is gonna be actually day 5. Let's see what she got here for me. What you got for daddy? 36 pips. And you guys know the routine. At this point, you can do it yourself. And how long did that take you to understand how to do that? How long did it take you to understand all that other technical analysis these dudes would be trying to preach to you? 3 pips. See, guys? 80, 68, 62, 93, 36. All right. And then let's go copy these sessions over. I'm trying to complete each day before I move on to the next one. Since I don't have to make any new boxes and labels, I'm just gonna go ahead and just complete the day one by one and reverse. Also do this too. I don't know how to do it, but I can do it. Uh, 31. And wrap it up. Whew. All right. At 83 pips for session 2. You see how all the tools and boxes and labels are all reusable. Once you do it one time, you can do it. You can do it as many times as you want after that. I'm gonna delete it. 26 pips. It's actually over here because this is part of the session one candle. Um, put up 42 pips on the money. Yeah, that's the high right there. Okay, that high belongs to session one. It does not belong to session two. So this is the high, session two. It's somewhere around 62 pips. And it's actually session one. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 63 pips to be exact. That's a high and low. You might as well call it 80 pips again because that's the entirety of day one. The high and the low both was formed in session two. So it's also 80 pips. Then go ahead and clone this. Drag and drop. And about 39 pips. And boom, identical, same template, different price action, different ranges, and what you gonna call it, and it's all connected together. Now it's starting to make sense. though price action can do whatever it wants, time cannot. And if you look at price action in reference to time, you'll be able to come up or explain what is happening with statistical accuracy. Now, the next thing I'm going to do for you is I'm going to project the MagnOpus trading template into the future for price action while you're trading in real time. So I'm going to take the week, I'm going to project it over here into the future, into blank space. Let's just line it up with the previous week. Um, it hit the low of the previous week, so we could just move this lower, and we can leave the top higher just in case price wants to move up. I don't like when it's on. I don't want the box to be all narrow and stuff like this. So I'll just leave it at the high, and if it does touch a high, we'll know that. Okay, just like this, right? If we would have projected this week over, this would be the high, this would be the low, and then we could say week X moved lower than week W. Week W. And then look at this. Look, watch this. Lower than week W, and then you can do like this, and like boom. How much lower? 45 pips lower. And good information, good information. We're creating a language. We're talking the language of the markets. We're talking price action, strictly price action, nothing else. Only data that is real, not no indicators and none of that stuff. And then we go ahead and project over. I didn't finish, but project over. Get my little tool here. So apparently the high and the low both occurred in session one. I might as well go ahead and throw that over and call that 43 pips as well. And I'll go through this over. And we're gonna call this. Oh wow. Let's call this 38 pips. And you probably get I probably want to make a spreadsheet where I can put the data in, um, and then put formulas and stuff like that. What is it, 38 pips, right? Something like that. Doesn't matter at this point. 38 pips, and that's day one. So day one right now is 6:20. So the next day has already started. Remember, trading days start at 5 p.m. Close at 5 p.m., start at 5 p.m. So when one closes, the next one is open. And then I could go ahead and do this. Yep. Do this. Yep. Don't say she was a fairy. Yep. Yep. That'll well. And then let it and just let price is gonna populate that area. And I'm just once price leaves the area, I'm going to go ahead and confirm the high and the low and then measure the range and then update the information as it comes to me. All right. And this is the beginning of reading price action using the MagnOpus trading template, only using time and price, which is the only two forms of data that you actually can derive from the graph. No opinions, no nothing. All right. All right. So that's that. I don't think I want to go too far in the explanation. We're just gonna stop right here and take a break, and then I'm gonna make another video where we're gonna go deeper into analyzing price action that happens within the data sets, quote unquote boxes, and how to read that price action and how we're gonna use this to go ahead and we're gonna apply the template on previous price, and then we're gonna take all the information, start making notes, and we're gonna find patterns. Patterns are gonna give you an edge. The edge is gonna give you a probability of being predicting what the market is gonna do next. How do you predict the future? By studying the past. That's a quote. So by studying past price action, you'll be able to predict future price movements on a probabilistic basis, not with 100% accurate, but on a probabilistic basis where probably this may happen or this might happen, and the odds are in your favor that it will, though it might not happen in the next trade or in the near future, is probably going to happen somewhere down the line. And if you stay consistent, you'll be able to predict it. So that's that. Let me see. I don't make sure I didn't touch on anything else. All right. So there you go, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then you could go also do the same thing again and just look at straight data. Straight data. And see how the boxes are interacting with each other. These boxes moving higher, lower, lower, higher, higher, lower, lower, higher. Now you could identify downtrends on a mathematical statistical basis. Expansions, consolidations, break of highs, break of lows, retest of highs, retest of lows, equal highs, equal lows, same, so on and so forth. But we don't have to, we're not going to address that right now. X, Y, Z, W, X, Y, Z, LO. I just want to name this week Z, by the way. Even though I know this is week 29, week 28, and we are currently week 30, I think. All righty, guys. So that's that. Um, and then next I am going to do this, and it's gonna look really cool for you guys. Watch this. I want let you guys see the movie play out with your own eyes. How it goes from completely unrecognizable, ununderstandable data into organized, proportionate information. And we only use rectangles and letters and numbers. No crazy terms and ideas and systems and terminologies. Just price action and data. Right? And then I'm gonna let this movie play out for you. Let the movie play. You see how I hate this? It deleted it. Good thing I recorded it, so I could just I'm a screen record it and I'm gonna reverse it. Not gonna fuck me over like that. On guy. That's not cool. All right, but whatever. That's why I recorded it. All right. Let's see how this recording came out. All right, guys. See you in the next video, next session. Okay.